Power Rangers universe. Episode 5, Keep Trying. Written and narrated by Newport. We begin with the Rangers at their secret training location near Flora Park. It is there that they are training in full Ranger attire with their weapons in hand as they attack hologram versions of galactic creeps. They're seen dodging attacks, hitting back at galactic creeps, and then using their weapons to finish them off. Ross and Silas use their Star Blasters. Star Blasters! Fire! They shoot their blasters at the holograms, and they go down. They fist bump in celebration. Yeah! Alright. Next was Liza with her Universe Bow. She fired with her special move. Universe Bow! Star Blitz! She fires her big arrow, which turns into a whole bunch of arrows, and then takes down her holograms. Yes! I never miss a shot, she says confidently. We then go to Corey and Paige as they finish off their hologram galactic creeps. Corey uses his Universe Saber, and Paige uses her Universe Disc. Universe Saber! Universe Discs! Double Strike! They slash their weapons at them, and they go down. All 5 of them group together as a hologram version of Iron Face appears. I made some updates on the hologram drones, said Silas. Thought adding a bigger threat would improve our training. The other 4 Rangers nod their heads yes, as they thought it was a good idea. But we got Iron Face instead, Silas says as he is almost roasting Iron Face, as the other 4 Rangers are stunned by the diss from Silas. What a burn, said Ross. Well, let's finish him off the right way, said Corey. They all whip out their Star Blasters as they prepare to fire their shooting Star Blast. Star Blasters! Full power! The blasters begin to charge up as they aim their blasters at the hologram. Shooting Star Blast! Fire! They fire their blasters as all 5 blasts form into one shooting star as it fires towards the hologram, destroying him. The Rangers hold up their blasters as they unmorph into their normal selves. Power down! They all take their breaths as they conclude their training together. Phew! Nicely done, everyone, said Corey. Yeah, I'd say we're getting pretty good with our weapons, said Paige. Then Corey says, You got that right, sis. And our new move was awesome. They both give each other a fist bump, and they walk with the others to their workout bags to get their water bottles. So Silas, how are things at the auto shop going? Asked Liza. Oh well. Otto's been getting on me about being late and how I spend more time fiddling around with my gadgets more than the products and merchandise that we're trying to sell, said Silas. If only he knew the real work he'd be doing on the side. She giggles at the thought of his boss finding out that he's a Power Ranger. Then Ross asks, By the way, are any of those gizmos you're working on for us? Well, I do have one prototype that I'm working on, but it's still got a lot of bugs that I have to fix before I can do proper testing, said Silas. You know, it's surprising that you can make gadgets all the while you're an auto shop employee and a Power Ranger, said Ross. Well, what can I say, Ross? I'm a man of many talents, he says as he flips his water bottle in the air and catches it, only to put it in his bag. As they all chuckle at his little water bottle move, an alarm goes off on his U-phone. It's a time notification telling him to be on time for work. Oh no! I'm gonna be late for work! He says in a worried tone, as Silas grabs his things and starts hurrying to get to the out shop, leaving the other 4 behind to wonder if he can get there on time. Man, being a teenage superhero is a lot of hard work, says Corey, as the others nod their heads in agreement. We see Silas running as he tries to make his way to Otto's Space Auto at the Airytown Plaza. He's running past trees, jumping over benches, even going as far as jumping over a stairwell and landing perfectly on the ground just so he can get to work on time. He makes his way to the auto shop and enters through the store door, where there waiting for him was his boss, Otto. Do you have any idea what time it is? Said Otto, as Silas looks up at the clock and sees it's 5 minutes past the start of his shift. Man, he says in a discouraged voice. Oh man is not the response I was looking for. This is the 3rd time this week. What is going on with you? Asked Otto. Otto, I wish I can tell you. But before Silas can finish what he's saying, Otto asks, Tell me what? That you got something more important than your job? Silas sighs at the thought of him not telling his boss what's going on. But he remembers that he promised the other Rangers that he wouldn't tell anyone, including him. All I can say is, I'll keep trying, Otto. I'll keep trying to be here on time. Silas says, Okay then. I'll let you off with a warning. No funny business. Now get to work. You got motors and exhaust pipes that need your assistance. You got it. Silas enters the workshop area. He puts his things in his locker and changes into his work clothes. He makes his way to his work desk where he unveils his latest prototype that he's working on. It's a long-range blaster weapon with a U-shape attached to it. I hate to break it to you. I'm gonna have to finish it later, Silas says. As he puts the tarp back on the prototype, he then gets started on the actual work that his boss asked him to do. Meanwhile, on the Polutos ship, we take a look at the command deck where we see Commander Exo, Spythe, and Dagger wait for their next monster to show up. All the while, Galactic Creeps are at their stations, making sure that the ship is up and running. Commander Exo is annoyed that they haven't shown up and is losing his patience.
What's taking them so long?
Asks Commander Exo.
The longer we wait, the Power Rangers will be more powerful,
Spythe says in an angered, worried tone. Relax. This particular monster loves power so much, he craves it. Literally, said Dagger, reassuring them. Then all of a sudden, the ship goes into a fritz, as lights go on and off and electrical sparks are flying everywhere. The ship appears to be malfunctioning. A speaker turns on from the engine room as Dr. Cranium explains what is happening.
Commander, the ship appears to be losing power. Something is causing it to drain,
said Dr. Cranium as Dagger realizes what's happening.
Oh, no they don't.
After hearing what he had said, Dagger then concludes what's causing the ship to lose power. She exits through the deck doors as it was malfunctioning into the halls of the ship, where she inspects where all the madness is coming from, until she walks upon something eating one of the power lines within the ship.
Hey!
She says, blasting at the creature eating the power lines with her wrist gauntlet, causing him to fly away from the lines and lie back on the ground.
Oh, come on!
The creature she blasted at was Jarana, the monster they were waiting for. He's a heavyweight piranha alien monster wearing a water-breathing neck collar and wears a leather vest, pants, and boots. You were supposed to meet us in the command deck, not feed on our ship, Dagger says angrily at him.
I was hungry! You know how space travel works up an appetite,
said Jarana. Come on. She grabs his arm and leads him to the command deck.
Ouch, hey! Not so tight! That's my eating arm!
After leading him to the command deck, Commander Exo and Spythe are waiting as Dr. Cranium tells everyone that everything is working.
Everything is up and running, Commander.
Dagger enters with Jarana and presents him to them. Commander, here's the source of your problem, she says as she throws him down on the ground in front of Commander Exo and Spythe.
Whoa! Oh, not again!
Commander Exo looks down on him, confused and annoyed about what is in front of him.
Who is this?
He asked. This gluttonous guppy is Jarana, the monster I told you about. He's able to feed off of power and electrical currents. And what better monster to stop a Power Ranger is one that feeds off of power.
Excellent,
said Commander Exo, connivingly.
Send him down to Area 10 so he can feed on the electrical system. If the planet has no power, that'll make conquering this planet a lot more easier.
And if the Rangers try to get in the way,
Jarana will have no problem with the Rangers' weapons, and any attacks they throw won't stop him. They all say the plan together as Jarana gets up quickly, ready to feast on his prey.
great! When does the buffet start?
Back on Eritan, Silas is at the auto shop, finishing up the last engine he was asked to repair. He then reports to Otto that he has all of his tasks done. "Hey Otto, I got the engines done," he says, yelling out to Otto. "Did you get the exhaust pipes too?" Otto asked. "Yes, sir." "Okay, check to see if there's any more projects for us to work on." "Got it," Silas says as he looks over at the covered project that he was working on and thinks to himself that he should get started on it again. "Well, since I got time on my hands," he says as he unveils the weapon that he was working on previously. "Why not use it to work on you?" As he begins to work on the weapon, he gets an alert call from his U-phone. He pulls it out to answer. "Hello?" It was Corey, telling him that a monster has appeared. "Silas, there's a monster near the power lines. We need you over there." "I'll be right there," Silas said. He ends the call and puts his U-phone away. He then heads out of the workshop and heads out of the store, but beforehand, he tells his boss that he's going on break. "Hey Otto, I'm taking a break. I'll be right back," said Silas. "Already? Hey, you better be back here in 30 minutes, said Otto. "You got it." He exits the store door, leaving Otto confused and annoyed on why his employee has been acting weird. Meanwhile, over at the power lines on a hill, we see Jarana feeding on the power from the towers. He's very delighted to get to eat so much power.
So much power. It's so delicious.
Then out of nowhere, the Rangers appear by flipping into the area one at a time. They land perfectly on the ground and are ready to fight Jarana. "Hey, fish for brains!" Corey says, shouting at him to get his attention.
Huh? Well, if it isn't the Power Rangers, just in time for my supper,
said Jarana. "Hate to break it to you, but we're taking your feast off the menu," said Silas.
Well, we'll see about that, Blue Boy.
He burps at the Rangers, releasing a blast at them, causing an explosion to erupt and knock them all down. They all try to get up quickly, with Paige saying, "Whoa, talk about a case of bad breath."
You think that's bad? Then you have no idea how bad my appetite is,
he says as he pulls out his weapons, which were a giant knife and a giant fork.
It's feeding time, Rangers!
He says, shouting at them, ready to fight. Then Corey says, "Let's do it!" Both the Rangers and Jarana charge at each other, with Jarana striking first at Corey with his knife. Then Liza tries to punch him, but he grabs the punch with his big utensil weapons and kicks her down. Paige then tries to attack him from behind, but blocks her attack and elbows her in the stomach. Ross and Silas try to get near him, but he thrusts his weapons at them both, knocking them down.
What's the matter? Are my attacks a little hard to swallow?
He says while laughing evilly. Silas then gets up quickly and pulls out his Star Blaster to fire at him. "Try chewing on this," said Silas. "Star Blaster, fire!" He fires his Star Blaster at Jarana, only for him to eat the blast and swallow it.
Yummy!
"What? He swallowed my blast," Silas says in a surprised tone, like he didn't expect it to happen. Ross then decides to help him out. "Come on, he can't handle 2 blasts at once." "Yeah, let's try it." Both Ross and Silas hold out their Star Blasters ready to fire again.
Huh? What's this?
said Joranna. Sword blasters, fire! Both of them fired their blasters, and both blasters swallowed by Joranna, just like the last time.
I love seconds.
No way, said Ross. Even 2 blasts won't stop him, said Silas.
Got any more where that came from?
Asked Joranna. Alright, let's change things up, Liza says, stepping forward with her U-phone in hand, dialing for her weapon. 93276, weapon. She puts her U-phone away as her universe bow appears in mid-air and grabs it. Universe bow! She pulls her arm back, ready to release her special move arrow. Star Blitz! She fires a big arrow which then turns into a bunch of small arrows at Joranna, only for him to open his mouth wide open to catch them all in one gulp.
So tasty, even one wasn't enough.
What? She says in a surprised tone.
Here, why don't you have some?
He bursts the arrows she fired right back at her, which then gets her hit and she gets knocked down. Liza! Said Paige, shouting that she got hurt. Corey and Paige rush over to help Liza up, while Joranna is still standing laughing at the Rangers.
No one can stop the hunger of Joranna,
said Joranna, feeling confident about his win. Not if I can help it, said Corey. Paige, are you ready for a new move? Let's try it out. Both Corey and Paige get in fighting stance with their weapons. Universe Saber! Universe Discs! They both jump in the air together with their weapons in hand, ready to attack Joranna with their double strike attack. Double strike! Corey swings his saber, and Paige slashes with her discs in an X formation. Both attacks head towards Joranna, and it looked as though their attack hit Joranna, leaving Corey and Paige to congratulate each other. Yeah! All right! But as soon as they celebrate, their attack is swallowed by Joranna, surprising both of them. What?
Thanks for the boost up, Rangers.
This is crazy, said Paige. No matter what we throw, he just eats it up. We still have 1 attack left, said Corey. Let's do Shooting Star Blast. But what if it doesn't work? Asked Silas. It has to. It's the most powerful attack we have, said Liza. Let's go for it, said Corey, as the Rangers pull out their Star Blasters ready to fire a Shooting Star Blast. Star Blasters! Full power! The blasters charge up, ready to be fired at Joranna. The Rangers are hoping that this will work, unlike the last couple of times they had to destroy him. Shooting Star Blast! Fire! They all fire their blasters at the same time, and all their blasts combine into a shooting star that's spiraling towards Joranna. The blast then makes an impact on him, causing him to jump back a little bit. But overall, like the last few times, he's managed to swallow the blast whole. The Rangers are left shocked, seeing that the most powerful attack they had together wasn't able to stop him.
That sure hits the spot, doesn't it?
Said Joranna, mocking them by laughing. I can't believe it. He swallowed the Shooting Star Blast, said Silas in shock.
Oh boy, all that power sure makes me feel so full. I can't have another bite. I'll have to talk her down for the next time I feast. Later, Rangers,
he says as he teleports away to the Polutos ship, leaving the other Rangers behind after realizing that they couldn't finish him with any of the weapons they had, which makes Corey annoyed that he got away. Hey, come back! He got away! As the 5 of them stand there feeling defeated, Silas wonders to himself if they can't take him down with the weapons that they have, then what will? There's gotta be a way to stop him. But how? Silas says subconsciously in his mind. All 5 of them unmorph and head back to Otto's Space Auto at the plaza, needing to take a cleanser from everything that had happened with Jarana. They enter through the store doors of the auto shop and ask themselves how they can stop a monster that can eat any attack that they throw at them. I just can't stop thinking about how we couldn't even leave a mark on him, said Liza. Right? If you ask me, that piranha was more like a walking garbage disposal than a walking fish, said Ross. Well, they're not making it easier for us, that's for sure, said Paige. Okay, well, one thing we do know is that we know what we're up against, said Corey. Now, it's clear that this guy eats or absorbs power by swallowing it and belching it right back at us. So if there's a way we can stop him from doing that, it would benefit us a lot. But how? Asked Liza. None of our weapons seem to work on him. What else could we do? Hey, Silas, do you have any ideas? Corey asked Silas, but he doesn't respond, as Silas was thinking to himself. Silas? He asked him again, but he still doesn't listen. Silas, he said as he was tapping his shoulder, finally getting his attention. What? Silas asked. Do you have any ideas on how we can stop the monster? Asked Corey. Well, I can't think of anything yet, but before he can finish this sentence, his boss Otto walks in on them asking Silas where he's been. Silas, where have you been? I told you to be back here in 30 minutes, and it's way past that. What's going on? He asks him, flustered and concerned. I'm sorry, Otto. Something came up. I had to help them, Silas says, trying to plead to him. Save it. I don't need to hear anything else. What I want you to do now is get your friends out of here and get back to work. But Otto, right now, Otto says in a serious tone, leaving Silas with nothing to do but say yes. Yes, sir. Otto then heads back into the workshop area, leaving Silas to say goodbye to his team and needing to go back to work. I'm sorry, guys, but I gotta do my job, Silas says to them, understanding what he has to do. It's okay, Silas. We'll try to figure it out by ourselves, said Paige. The four rangers then exit their store doors while Silas goes back into the shop area to his work desk, ready to get back to work. It was there that he saw what he had been trying to work on that he realized. He knew how to stop Jarana. He ran out quickly to tell the rangers that he had an idea. Hey guys! He shouted to the others, getting their attention as they turned their heads towards Silas. I know how we can stop the monster. Follow me. They return inside the shop to Silas's work desk, where the rangers are curious about what Silas has planned. So, something I remembered after we had our fight. Jarana left when he felt he had too much power to eat, right? He asked the others. Yeah, so? Corey said, wondering where he was going with this. So, even he has his limits. He can't eat too much power, otherwise he would burst, said Silas. He left before we could attack him again, said Liza. That's also why he belched some of the attacks in power instead of swallowing them. He was laying a load, making it easier to fight us, said Ross. So that's what we do then. We keep attacking him with our weapons until he pops like a balloon, said Corey. Yeah, but any attacks we do give him, he'll just burp right back at us, said Paige. Exactly, said Silas. This is why I think now would be the right time to show you guys this, he says as he unveils the weapon he was working on all this time. I call it the Star Cannon. With a full charge, this thing could fire a very powerful blast. Even he wouldn't be able to swallow it whole. This is great, Liza said, happy. Instead of attacking one at a time with multiple attacks, we go in with one weapon that can make a bigger attack, said Silas. All right, Ross says confidently. So can we use it? Corey asked Silas. Unfortunately not. I still need to fix some bugs for it to work. I just hope I can get it done by tomorrow, said Silas. But we don't have till tomorrow, said Paige, speaking in an impatient tone. That monster could come back any time. We'll be ready, said Corey. I trust Silas, He can get it done by the time he shows his face again. Right? Silas takes a deep breath before giving a response. Yeah, I could do it. Silas says confidently to his team as they feel great about what he can do. So what do we do in the meantime? Paige asks the team. Why don't we split up into 2 pairs? We'll scout the area and see where they'll attack next. Ross says to them, suggesting, with Corey saying, Good idea. You 2 can search the city. Ross and I will search the woods and then we'll report back if either of us see anything. Right, Paige says, nodding her head. Good luck, Silas, Liza says to him, while she and the other 3 go to do their search. You can do it, Silas. I know you can, says Corey. As they leave the shop, Silas puts his safety glasses on and picks up his tools and says, Okay, let's get to work. He immediately starts working on the star cannon with no time to spare. Back on the Polutos ship, we see Commander Exo walking about the halls of the ship with his mechanical legs when he all of a sudden hears snoring coming from one of the ship's sleeping quarters. He opens the doors to investigate, and he stumbles upon a sleeping Jarana on one of the bunk beds. This frustrates Commander Exo very much.
Why, you?
He activates one of his claw arms and shoots a laser at him, waking him up.
Whoa! Oof!
Jarana tumbles over and falls on the ground, and Commander Exo says,
You lazy fat flounder!
He says, insulting him.
You dare come back on my ship and decide to nap?
He says angrily.
No! I was just
He thinks quickly of an excuse.
resting my eyes. Yeah, totally different.
Commander Exo, still angered by his actions, unleashes one of his claw arms at him and grabs him by the feet, lifting him upside down.
Now you listen to me,
he says in a threatening tone.
You may have been useful against the Rangers, but if I find you slouching around my ship again, I'll fry you like the fish you are. Got it?
He shakes his head yes, and Commander Exo drops him. Commander Exo leaves him behind as he goes to the command deck to communicate with Dagger, who he had sent down to Ariatan.
Yeesh, what a crab.
Joran says to himself how moody the commander is. We see Exo arrive at the command deck, where galactic creeps are at the consoles working the ship. He then proceeds to touch a button in order to communicate with Dagger.
Come in, Dagger.
The screen on the ship changes as we see Dagger and a group of galactic creeps on Ariatan reporting from the power plant. Yes, Commander?
Have you found the most powerful source in Ariatan?
He asked Dagger. Yes, sir. They have a power plant here which generates enough power for the whole planet. When Joran is finished with his little stomach ache, we'll have him feed off of every bit of power they have here.
Good,
said Commander Exo.
Once we take power from Ariatan, there will be no stopping us from conquering this planet like we have with the others.
Agreed, said Dagger. And the Rangers can't do anything to stop us. Dagger presses a button on her wrist gauntlet to teleport her and the galactic creeps back to the Polutos ship. Unannounced to them, Corey and Ross are seen hiding behind a couple of metal containers, observing what has just happened. This is not good, Ross says in a worried state. I'll get a hold of the girls, said Corey, as he pulls out his U-phone to contact Liza and Paige. We then see both girls roaming around the city area, looking for places where the Polutos would take over, when all of a sudden, Paige's U-phone starts going off, letting her know to answer it. It's probably the guys, she says, assuming that it is. She pulls out her U-phone and answers it. Yeah? It's Corey. We found our next target, he says. Where? The power plant. They plan on having Jorana drain everything from here, he says to the girls. But if that happens, the whole planet could have a major blackout, said Paige. That's exactly what they want. But we can't let that happen. At least now we know what their plan is, said Corey. We'll meet you guys over there as soon as we can. Right. They both hang up their U-phones. Ross then talks to Corey about Silas. Man, I hope Silas will be done with that star cannon soon, he says in concern. You and me both, Corey says, also in concern. We then transition over to Silas at the auto shop. As night is drawing near, he is hard at work trying to finish the star cannon. Just one more circuit to wire. He goes to wire the last circuit in the star cannon, but then an electric spark explodes and causes the star cannon to smoke a bit. Aw, man, he says in annoyance. I was so close. He's upset that his project is nowhere near being done. We then see Otto at the workshop doorway with a look of disappointment on his face. He walks towards Silas, ready to give him a talk. It's near closing time, and you're back here fiddling with your gadgets instead of closing up shop? He says in anger. Silas turns around to face the consequence that Otto might place on him. I'm sorry, Otto. I was really caught up with my work and... Save it. Otto cuts him off from speaking. I'm really starting to question why I hired you in the first place. Silas has a look of despair on his face after hearing Otto's words. Now do me a favor. Grab your things and head out. I need to close the shop. Silas goes to face his work desk to pack up, but stops with hesitance and says to Otto as he is walking out, No. Otto stops midway and turns around to Silas, wondering if he heard what he thinks he's heard. What did you say? Silas turns around with confidence, knowing that what he's doing could put the whole plan in jeopardy, and he can't let anything get in his way. I said no, Otto. You may not understand this, but this project I'm doing is really important. I've got others who are depending on me to get this done before something bad might happen. Even if you might see it as a waste of time, then I'm sorry to hear that, Otto. But aside from auto parts, this is ultimately what I'm good at, and I hope you can accept that I'll never stop trying. Otto has a surprised look on his face, hearing everything that Silas had to say. He then finally talks to Silas. Wow, I didn't know you had it in you till now, he says, smiling, leaving Silas confused. What? He says in response. You have that potential, Silas. The potential to be an excellent engineer. You refuse to let any obstacle in your way disrupt your work. Even if it means standing up to those that oppose you. Even me. Silas is amazed at what he's hearing. Really? Yeah. There's a reason why I'm hard on you, Silas. It's because I see so much potential. I know you have what it takes to do so much more, and really make some fantastic machines. Silas, still shocked by his response, finally gives his boss the proper response. Thanks, Otto, he says with a smile. Now with that said, don't talk to me like that again, he says while tossing a set of keys over to Silas as he catches them. What are these? He asked. Those are the spare keys to the shop, he says in response, as Silas has a shocked look on his face after receiving these. Do me a favor, don't lose those. Also, lock up when you're done, he says as he was about to exit, as Silas puts them in his pocket and was about to go back to work. But Otto quickly turns around to say, Oh, by the way, Silas turns around quickly back to him to listen. Don't be late tomorrow, Silas says with a smile on his face. Yes, sir. Otto leaves with a slight smile on his face. Then Silas immediately gets back to work on the star cannon. He picks up his tools and starts fixing what went wrong the first time. An hour passes by, and Silas is testing the revolving function on the cannon, which makes great success as the U-shape on it spins on command. Perfect, he says with confidence. Half an hour later, he finishes the wiring inside the cannon. He shuts the cover of the wiring and proceeds to flip the switch, which activates the weapon. It begins powering up slowly, making Silas very anxious. Come on, please work. As the cannon continues to power up, we transition over to the power plant at night, where Jarana and the Galactic Creeps have just teleported and are ready to cause havoc.
Now this is a feast I can really sink my teeth into.
Jarana says with joy as he looks up at the whole power plant.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to chow down.
He starts walking forward to the power plant, ready to eat all the power it has.
Yeah! What?
But from out of nowhere comes Corey, jumping in and kicking Jarana down on the ground. Corey lands perfectly on the ground after kicking Jarana, with the other 3 Rangers joining him to confront Jarana and the Galactic Creeps.
Kitchen is closed, Jarana. Get lost,
he says in a confident tone.
Ha! You think you got me beat, huh? Well, I got an iron stomach that can handle anything you throw at me,
he says, arguing to the Rangers.
We'll see about that,
Corey says before the big moment of every Ranger battle.
It's morphin' time! U-phone, activate!
The U-phones slide open, allowing Corey and the others to dial the number code to morph.
66774, morph.
Universe, morph! They raise their U-phones high into the air, causing stars to hover all over their bodies, along with the shapes of the star gems to appear under their feet, and transforming the suit all the way from the bottom up. And the shapes appear in front of their faces, forming the helmets, and the shapes then turn into the helmet visors. They then stand in their Ranger poses, ready to fight them all off.
Galactic Creeps, get 'em!
The Galactic Creeps charge forward at the Rangers, as the Rangers charge forward at them as well. They're fighting each other as we see Jarana taking the advantage to go off on his own and go eat all the power in the power plant.
While the Rangers are busy fighting for an appetite, I'll go get mine going on the power plant. See ya!
He says as he goes running into the power plant to start his feeding. Meanwhile, we see the Rangers taking on Galactic Creeps, doing flips and kicks and punches to them. Some of them tumble down, but there are some that come back and pull out these weapons that look like pipes, then they convert them into a blaster and start firing at the Rangers, in which they make contact. They all go down after being hit by the Galactic Creeps' blasters.
I don't remember these things having blasters,
said Liza.
I guess they wanted to make sure that we don't get anywhere near the power plant,
said Paige.
We gotta get past these guys before Jarana eats all the power,
Corey says to the others, as the Galactic Creeps approach them ready to blast them again. But from out of nowhere, a blast appears and knocks them all down. The Rangers look to the direction where the blast came from. It was from Silas, who was in his Ranger form with the star cannon.
Now this is major artillery,
Silas says as he heads towards the Rangers and greets them.
All right, Silas,
says Ross.
Wow,
both Liza and Paige say. They're all happy to see Silas.
Sorry I'm late, guys. This thing was a lot of work,
said Silas.
We're just glad to have you with us,
said Corey as he puts his hand on his shoulder.
Thanks. Now where's that piranha at?
Silas asks the others.
He went inside the power plant, but we gotta stop him before...
As Paige was speaking, all the lights near them started to flicker, as did the whole planet. They realized that Geronimo has started eating the power.
Guys, he's starting to eat the power,
Ross says in a concerned voice.
Quick, Silas, you go in and stop him. We'll take care of the Galactic Creeps.
Right. Silas goes charging into the power plant as the others fight off the Galactic Creeps. We see him enter into an open area where a surprise attack from Galactic Creeps show up and try blasting at Silas, only for them to miss him.
Whoa! Hey!
He says, shouting at the Galactic Creeps, who stand there laughing at him like he can't do anything about it to stop them. But little do they know what they're up against. You guys think that's funny, huh? Let's see you laugh at this, he says as he fires up the star cannon and begins an attack on the galactic creeps. Star cannon! Rapid blast! The star cannon starts firing rapidly at the galactic creeps, knocking them all down, leaving Silas glad about the progress he has made with the weapon. You set him up, I knock him down. He continues to find Joranna, who is somewhere eating power. He takes several different directions until eventually he finds where he is as he continues eating. Gotcha! Star Blaster, fire! He fires with his Star Blaster after pulling it out. He hits Joranna with a successful shot, interrupting his eating.
Hey! Who did that?
He asks so furiously. Look no further, said Silas.
Ah, Blue Ranger! Got a new toy to feed me?
He says jokingly. Sorry, but your eating habit ends here, said Silas.
Bring it!
Silas charges at him with the cannon Star Blaster in hand. He swings the cannon at Joranna, but he ducks out of the way. He then kicks, but Joranna grabs his leg and flips him, causing him to backflip until he lands perfectly back on the ground.
Give up, Blue Boy! I got power to feed on!
Not so fast! From out of nowhere comes the other Rangers. They kick at him before he could eat any more.
Don't!
He lands on his butt as the other Rangers land perfectly to help Silas. Thought you can use a hand, said Corey. Perfect timing. We all have to combine our powers together in order for this blast to work. Everybody, join in! Silas takes hold of the trigger as Paige and Liza kneel down holding the can steady, while Corey and Ross put one hand on each shoulder of Silas in order to spread the power to the cannon.
Ooh, I'm so scared!
Joranna says, mocking them, believing he can handle the power that they blast at him. You will be, Silas says, intimidating him. Star Cannon! Full power! The Star Cannon begins to charge as all 5 of the Rangers' energy flows through the Star Cannon as the U-shape begins to rotate, waiting to fire the blast. Aim! Fire! Silas presses the trigger as the Star Cannon fires a major blast at Joranna. He tries his best to swallow the blast whole, but it's not effective. He begins to feel the power overload, and he realizes he can't take it all in one gulp.
Oh no! I think I'm gonna be sick! Ah!
Joranna screams as he is destroyed, as the Rangers feel triumphant after defeating Joranna finally. We did it, guys, said Liza. I guess he doesn't have an iron stomach after all, said Ross. Yeah. Paige laughs when Ross says something funny, leaving Corey to compliment Silas. You did, Silas. I know you could do it. Yeah, I really did, said Silas, feeling glad that he did what he did. Back on the Polutos ship, we see Dagger watching the events that occur while Commander XO is outside of the command deck for a while. This is what I get for hiring an eater who can't hold his lunch, she says to herself, thinking that she might be blamed for what just happened. She comes up with a quick solution to solve her problem. Fire the regenerates! She says to the galactic creep at the control, nodding their head, as they activate the regenerates. From the outside, we see the ship open up 2 hatches that release 2 extendable claw arms with laser blasters at the end of them. They both fire red lasers down at Aritan, hitting what remains of Joranna, not only bringing him back to life, but also making him grow in the process.
My appetite is bigger than ever!
The Rangers exit the power plant to see the gigantic fish out of water. Oh, great. Just when I thought we got him on a permanent diet, said Paige. Better call for backup, Corey says as he pulls out his U-phone, ready to dial the number code for his Zord, as do the others. 9673 Zord. Summon Zords! They all shout as the Zords are seen flying in the air, heading towards Joranna. The Rangers jump high and teleport to their Zords. They are each sitting in their own Zord cockpits, ready to fight this power-hungry fish. Let's fry him up, Rangers! Silas says to the others, to which they say, Right! The Rangers fly ahead towards Jarana. As he sees the Zords, he says,
I'm hungry for some Zords!
He says as he opens his mouth up, as some kind of vacuum vortex is sucking the Zords towards his mouth. Whoa! I don't remember him having that, said Silas. He's trying to swallow us whole, said Liza. No way! If there's anything I don't want to be, it's a snack, said Paige in a furious tone. Hang on, guys. I'm going to give him a serious stomach ache, said Corey. Uzord 1, Spiral Blaze! He says as his Zord starts spiraling in flames towards Jarana and hits his stomach.
Gah! It burns!
He says, screaming as the Zords escaped after almost being swallowed. Yeah! Nice one! Said Ross, complimenting Corey. Alright guys, let's bring them together, Corey says as he pulls out his U-phone to dial the number code for the Megazord. 6342 Mega. Zords, combine! Corey says that the Zords fly off into the sky to begin the Megazord transformation. U-Zord 2 becomes the torso. U-Zord 3 becomes the legs. U-Zord 4 becomes the arms. U-Zord 5 becomes the wings. And U-Zord 1 becomes the head of the Megazord. Now combined together, they form the Universe Megazord. It then lands back on Eritan to fight Jarana. Universe Megazord! Ready! They shout in unison as Jarana gets up to fight.
Forget being hungry! Now I'm hangry!
He says as he is hangry. Well, how about we give you some knuckle sandwiches? Said Corey, as the Rangers control the Megazord to throw a couple of punches at Jarana, in which one punch actually caused one of his teeth to be knocked out.
Ow! My tooth!
He says in pain. Time for your just desserts. Mega Universe Saber! Out of thin air appears the Mega Universe Saber in the Megazord's hand, as they prepare to finish Jarana off. Mega Universe Saber! Mega Star Slash! The Megazord swings the saber at Jarana, and it slashes at him. The Rangers celebrate. But then, Jarana absorbs the slash and eats it up.
That's delicious,
he says after eating it. Oh no, he ate our attack, Liza says in concern.
Time to return the flavor back,
said Jarana. Guys, he's gonna burp it right back at us, said Ross in a concerned tone. I have an idea. Paige, use your panels to reflect the attack, said Silas. Got it. Let's see how he likes the taste of his own medicine, she says as Jarana begins to burp the attack back at them. He burps the attack at them, but Paige comes back with a reflection. U-Zord 2, panels reflect! The attack bounces off the panels of the Megazord and back at Jarana, knocking him down on the ground. Yeah, said Paige. Nice one, said Silas. They both say in excitement.
Great! Now I lost my lunch for nothing!
Jarana says, complaining. Now let's finish this meal, said Corey as the Megazord begins to take flight. Megazord, flight mode! The Megazord takes off high into the night sky as Jarana looks up wondering what he's doing.
What's going on?
He says, questioning. Universe Megazord! Solar Panel Blast! All Zords of the Megazord charge up together as all of their energies meet up at the solar panels of the chest of the Megazord. The solar panels then blast its energy at Jarana, with him saying,
Oh no! This is my last supper! Ah!
He says in terror as the blast hits him, finally destroying him. An explosion occurs as the Megazord lands back on the ground, with the Rangers celebrating. Then Corey ends it by saying, This battle's over. Back on the Polutos ship, we see in the command deck Dagger and Spithe arguing over each other about the battle that had occurred with the Rangers and Jorana.
This whole thing was your fault! If you hadn't invited that dumb power-hungry fish to take care of the Rangers, none of this wouldn't happen!
Spite says, arguing with her. Well, somebody has to make the big plans around here. The only thing you can do is swing that big hammer around and show off those useless things you call muscles, she says, insulting him. They keep arguing with each other until Commander Exo walks in with a very angry look on his face.
Enough of this arguing!
He yells at them, and they both start to be silent.
If anything, you two are both responsible for not doing enough to make sure the plan worked. And just for that, you're both on slop serving duty for all the workers on the ship.
What?
They both say in shock.
You can't be serious!
He says. After what just happened, the last thing I want to think about is food or slop, Dagger says.
Silence!
He says, angry, as once again they both shut their mouths.
One more word from the both of you, and I'll have you both in cryogenic confinement.
Yes, Commander. They both say in response to not wanting to be frozen. Commander Exo exits the command deck to come up with another plan, leaving Dagger and Spite behind, annoyed with each other that they have to serve slop. Back on Aritan the next day, we see Corey, Liza, Paige, and Ross outside Otto's Space Auto, talking to each other about everything that happened last night. I gotta say, after that fight last night, I'm definitely over seafood. The other Rangers laugh at Paige's comment, as Corey says, I'm just glad that we got someone like Silas on our team. Now we have that star cannon, we got all the power we need to take those Polutos down. Corey says confidently as the others agree with him. Hey, where is Silas anyway? Liza asks the others. I haven't seen him since last night. I hope he's had plenty of sleep, otherwise he'd be missing work again. Ross says as the store doors are opened by Otto. Morning, kids, he says to the Rangers. Morning, Otto, they all say in response. Otto looks around wondering where Silas is. Where's Silas at? He's not with you? Otto asks the Rangers. No. We haven't seen him since yesterday, Corey says in response. We see Otto look at his watch as he has a disappointed look on his face when he sees how close it is to opening time. I should have known. Just when I thought he was going to change his ways, he says to himself, while he and the other Rangers are walking into the store. Morning, boss! But then out of nowhere, Silas is behind the shop window, leaving Otto and the other 4 Rangers shocked that he made it on time. Wait, where did you... Otto says in a surprised tone, wondering how Silas got here. I got here through the back, said Silas. Wait, you think I was going to miss work again? Not going to happen, boss, Silas says while putting his hand on his shoulder. Otto gives an eyebrow look back at Silas as he puts his hand back into his pocket. Well then, you got a lot of work to do, now get on it, Otto says as he goes back into the shop, still baffled. Okay, how'd you do it? Asked Paige. I've added a new function into the U-phone. Now, when you press 4-6 and then hit the center, you can teleport to where you want to go, Silas says as the other Rangers are stunned and impressed with what he's done. How in the world do you do it, Silas? Corey asks. Like I always say, I'm a man of many talents, he says as he leans on a display shelf, accidentally knocking off boxes of small parts as they hit the ground. Silas! We hear Otto screaming from the back as Silas turns his head quickly to look over there, as the other Rangers laugh humorously at Silas, who looks back at them, giving them a nervous chuckle, thinking he still has a lot of work to do. End of episode 5.